Hi everyone, welcome to today's training. I am so freaking excited to be here with you today. It was Thanksgiving last week, so we took a little break. I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. So I am going to bring up the video in the group to make sure that I can answer all of your questions and make sure that we are actually going live in the right place. All right, I see you guys here joining. What is up? Let's see who's here. I can't read the names. Hi, Erica. Hi, Leslie. I can't see the others, but it's so good to see you ladies here. Okay, so today we are talking about how to attract high caliber clients who pay in full and get results. I asked you guys a question this week. And I asked, what thoughts come up for you when you think about attracting high caliber clients? And you guys gave me some epic ideas of what's going through your mind. So I really want to help you clarify that and demystify what it looks like to attract high caliber clients. And the reason why I think that I'm qualified, I believe I'm qualified to share this with you is because I always consistently sign up clients who are paying in full, who are go-getters, who get results, and my clients are also elevating the quality of clients that they attract, and their clients are getting even better and better and better results. And it wasn't always that way. I can tell you that most of my clients come to me with that problem. Like, I'm attracting people who can't afford my $500 program or can't afford $2,000. How could I sell something that's like $6,000 or $10,000, or just even raise my prices to the point where I feel like I'm stretching myself, like it just doesn't feel like I'm making the sales now. Well, how could I even do that later? And when we work together, I help them clarify their message, clarify who they need to target, and who is the actual person that they want to work with, because that's what we're going to get into. It's like getting really honest with yourself about who you really want to work with instead of just settling for what you think you can attract. And so the work that we do that is from a messaging perspective, and then from a sales perspective, I teach them how to show up in a sales context in a way that holds the space in the container for a high caliber client to trust you and to see you as somebody who they want as their guide, as their coach. And it's not something that we're born with. I just want to tell you. It's not, this is not something that you can do mindset coaching on or energy healing on or meditations on, and that is going to click and then you'll know it. Trust me, I tried it. It's something that these are skills that we need to learn. And it doesn't mean that it has to be foreign and different and hard. It just means that for most of you, you're here because you want to find a more soulful and authentic way to do this, where you're empowering people to say yes to themselves, and where you are being a stand for your gifts, and you're articulating how you can help them in a way that's clear and that makes it easy for them to say yes to you, right? That is what soulful marketing is all about. And this is what creates magnetism, which is what I'm all about in marketing. So, say what's up. I see all of you joining. Is Paul here? Oh no, it's Paula. Someone from the group, his name is Paul. He just signed for the mastermind yesterday, so I thought that he was here. Okay, thank you for the polka dot love, babe. Good to see you here. Okay, so let's get on with the show. So the first thing that I want to cover is, in order to find, high caliber clients are everywhere. What's happening now is that you don't see yourself as somebody who knows how to speak to them or what to say to them in order for them to invest at a high level. And what that is simply, there's two layers of that. Number one, you're not fully in your belief about your ability to help them. And number two, you don't know what to say in order to attract them. So here's what I want to offer. And give me a 1 if that's how you feel right now. Give me a 1 in the comments if right now you're like, I need my belief to be stronger in my ability to show up. And give me a 2 if you're like, I have my belief down, but I just need the message. So give me a 2 in the comments if it's the message, or give me a 1 in the comments if it's just the belief, or 1 and 2 if it's both. So the first thing I want to say is that so many people decide that their ideal client is somebody who basically is them, but in the past, like my past self 2 years ago. And I just want to challenge that. Because for some people, maybe that's a good ideal client to go for, but I want you to reflect right now on where were you maybe like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. I can tell you that 5 years ago, I was in the struggle bus. I was trying to figure out my business and myself as an entrepreneur. And hi, beautifuls. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Leslie. And I was trying to figure myself out, and I was not in a good place. I definitely did not have $10,000 to invest, or five. I had already invested so much, and I was not in the best place for me to take action. And I know that some people target their past selves as their ideal clients, and maybe for some cases that fits and is a good idea. But what I want to invite you to reflect on is that you don't have to target your past self. You can target people who just don't have the skills that you have, but who are at a higher level in their lives. So for example, if you're a health coach, you can target executives and entrepreneurs. You don't necessarily have to target the person who doesn't want to take any action, who doesn't have any money to invest, who's like completely depressed and doesn't even want to, think about themselves and put themselves first. Because what's going to happen is that they're too much in their wound at this point in order to take action, right? And so if you want to help people who are there, that's totally cool. What I invite you to notice is that it's going to take a lot more work to get them into action, right? It's going to take more work, a little bit more support, more energy to help them transition out of that. And if that feels really good for you, then go all in. But what I've found is that when my clients come to me, they have been helping that type of client and they're exhausted because it takes a lot of work and a lot of transformation. And you get to choose. I'm not saying one or the other is wrong or better. I'm just saying, what do you actually want to do? Who do you actually want to help? And if that is your past self who was kind of like rock bottom, then go with that. If that's what lights you up for whatever reason, do that. And what I'm offering is that you don't actually have to target your past self. You can think about, the gifts that I have are valuable to people who maybe are successful in many areas of their lives, but maybe nutrition and health is like their weak point. Like a 7-figure entrepreneur or CEO who's overworking and comes home tired all the time and has fights with his wife because his wife wants some attention or connection, intimate connection, and he's so exhausted and tired because he's not eating well, he's not taking care of himself. And he's literally about to get divorced because if only he had more energy or vitality, things would be different. Do you see the difference than if you target somebody who's like a rock bottom in all areas of life? Who do you think is going to see the value in investing, 5K, 7K, whatever it is, 10K, whatever it is, in your program? I think the second guy, the 7-figure entrepreneur, or, somebody, the executive, right? Because he will see the value. He'll think, I'll save my marriage. I'll be able to have more energy to play with my kids. I'll be able to lead my team with more vitality, and I'll be able to be more patient, more loving, more whatever to my family, to my team. I'm going to be a better leader. It's not just about nutrition. It's about the impact that that's going to have in their lives. Do you see that? Okay, so let me just pause and watch the comment and look at the comments. Diane says, I do notice that I keep talking to that audience. I need to change it up. Yeah, it's okay. It's just the easiest thing. Hi, Jennifer. So that is just the easiest thing, right? That's what we most basic coaches teach, who's your past self? And listen, sometimes that is the best. Sometimes that's oh, cool, I can talk to that version of me, but maybe you take little bits and pieces. You don't talk to the most disempowered person, right? That's really in their wounding. If you want to work with people who are in that place, go for it if you want to. I'm just saying that it's going to take longer for them to want to invest in themselves and say yes to themselves because they're at that place where they're not clear and they're not ready to take action. So they're going to be a slower investor, or they're going to invest less in themselves because they don't probably believe that much in themselves. And if you want to help them believe in themselves, all in, go for it. Just know that there's just going to take a little bit more work, okay? And for me, it's how can we make this easier for the highest impact for the people who need it and who's gonna, like, if we address a 7-figure earner or entrepreneur, their families are gonna change, their employees are gonna notice a difference. Like, there's gonna be so much that's gonna be impacted. And so I like to think about that. It's not leaving the other people behind, right? Like, don't hear it that way. It's just choosing, what do you want? And a lot of my clients come to me because they're ready to really work with higher level people. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share. What is the message that you are putting out there? So in order to speak to that kind of person, you want to talk to what's going well in their lives now instead of everything that's going wrong only. And this is a big mistake I see people make in marketing. And they're like, why am I attracting people who can't pay me? Why am I attracting people who like always say they can't afford it and they're not willing to like get coached on it, or they're just not ready to invest or not ready to take action? Why? And I can tell you that your marketing attracts exactly the person that you are writing or talking to. So if you're talking to somebody who is in a disempowered place, you're going to attract that person. So if you're saying, you know, are you struggling living paycheck to paycheck? And are you struggling with, you know, not knowing exactly where your life is going? You're going to attract people who are more in their wound. But if you speak to people who are aspiring to become a different version of themselves, even if they don't have the resources, they're going to be empowered to do something about it, because you're speaking to that aspirational identity. You inspire them to rise up to their next level, and you're saying, hey, I know right now it may feel like you're in a point of your life where it doesn't make sense. Like you know you don't belong here. You know that you're destined for so much more than what's going on right now. And you're not a victim of your circumstances. It just happens to be a patch in your life that you're like, I need to up level right now, in whatever area that is, right? I just kind of made that up. We're talking to a very different person right there. They may be kind of at the same maybe journey, but we're calling out a different identity, somebody who is empowered, who's willing to take action. This is why in my content, I attract people who apply to work with me who are like, I am ready to take action. I'm an action taker. I'm going to be your best student because I know you're speaking to me. You're calling that identity out of me. So give me a 3 in the comments if this is resonating, because I know that this sometimes can be a little bit foggy of like, wait, how do I need to talk to people? What? So give me a 3 if this makes sense. And if not, give me your question in the comments, because I want to be able to clarify this for you the best I can. Okay, let me see. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Okay. So that is the next thing. If you're not attracting people who are ready to be influenced, because you're not speaking to their specific situations and where they're at right now. And I see a lot of people just talking fluffy things and being cute and being funny or being like sweet or being like emotional or authentic. But if you're not addressing your ideal client's situation, if you're not telling them, hey, I know exactly what's going on in your life intimately. I know how you feel when you wake up and what happens when you go and make your cup of coffee, what's going through your mind in that moment. And I know what that feels like. And I know that you don't want that to be the case. And then you put on a happy face and then you go and be a leader. But the reality is that you feel that there is this and this and that to work through. I get it. I know what it feels like because I help my clients with that and they come to me with that same problem. And so here's what I want to tell you. And then you can go into your little spiel, right? So that I just want you to see, guys. I just made that up, right? But that is such an intimate way to speak to clients. And that's when they're like, you are in my mind. Like, I need to work with you. And the reason for that is because when people notice and they read or they hear you talk about their problems so intimately, they automatically make the assumption that you have the solution. But it all starts with you getting intimate with them. And sometimes the work of getting intimate with that takes practice and simply just takes you being in conversation with that type of person. So if you're at a level 0 and you have no idea how to figure out what the fuck they're thinking in their day-to-day lives, then you want to go and surround yourself with these people, or at least have one conversation a week with one of these people and ask them questions like, hey, I'm really curious, like, what is it like for you to, when you wake up, what's the first thought that crosses your mind? And then what? Like, what are some of those biggest, challenges that you're experiencing right now as it relates to like blank, whatever area you help them with, right? Like, start asking questions, but you have to have those answers, because if your message isn't clear, that's like a really good way to figure it out. But you, of course, like need somebody to help you polish it. And that's what I help my clients with. So if you need support with that, you should message me. All right. Aloha, Marina. Good to see you. Alrighty. So let's move on to the next thing. I mean, I can talk about messaging all day. And so the way that I want you to audit it, which is what I wanted to say in this live stream, is simply make sure that when you read your content, when you're doing anything, you check in. Is this talking to an empowered person? Am I actually talking to my ideal client, or am I creating this just for me? Because I'm all about exposing your truth and telling your own personal stories. Yay. But they have to be relevant to your ideal client, or they have to ultimately at some point speak to what they're going through. So just check. If you've already been creating content consistently, then you're starting to graduate to the level where you're speaking more to your ideal client, then just filter it through that lens. Am I speaking to an empowered person, or am I kind of going in the disempowered road, like rabbit hole right here? Does anything about this post, does it feel like victimy, or does it feel like it's calling people into their next level? It's a good way to filter your message. It's one way. So write it down. All right. So the next thing, oh my gosh, I went all in on the message. So let's go. Embodying the person embodying the type of person who naturally attracts high caliber clients. So I love this topic because it's not marketing strategy, but it's really truly who do you need to become and who do you need to embody in order for clients to see you as somebody, like high caliber clients to see you as somebody they actually want to pay. Because you can create all the content you want, but if you're not really embodied in yourself, knowing like, I know the value that I can bring to people, I am showing up like at that level. Like if you're not starting to build that foundation, they're going to feel it, right? And so here's what I recommend. And this is all belief system work. I want you to look at like, what are your beliefs when it comes to you as a coach? So do you believe you can help these people? And if the answer, like on a scale of 1 to 10, mark it. Like, do I believe that I can help this high caliber client? And if, you get a 3, then you have to ask yourself, why did I rate it that number? And then be really honest with yourself. And then ask yourself, what needs to happen? What do I need to believe about myself in order to get it to a 10? And I'm going to give you an exercise to do that. So I want you to think about someone that you want to hire, somebody that you see as, wow, she's epic, she's amazing, I would love to work with her or him. Wow, they're amazing, they show up great, like I love everything about them, like I wish I could be them or whatever. Someone that you really admire in the coaching space. And just think about that person and write down all the beliefs you have about them. Like, wow, she's amazing. Wow, she's like, I want her on my vision board, or him. Wow, like I just, everything she says is so good. Whatever thoughts you have about that person, okay? That's the second part of the exercise, and just write it all down. And then I want you to flip that, okay? And what I want you to do is to flip all of those and flip them as if they were about you. So instead of saying, ooh, she is, I want you to flip all of that and say, well, I am so good. I am such a freaking awesome coach. Wow. What I'm saying, like my teachings are so good. And start practicing all of those beliefs and like, what do you need to do in your life in order to believe that? Like, do you need to show up more on Facebook Live? Do you need to be more bold in the way that you show up? Or do you need to maybe be more educational? Do you need to put some boundaries in place to say, this is who I am for, this is who I'm not for? Like, what is the energy of the woman or the man that you want to embody so that you're not just looking at other people who are good and who are great, but you're becoming that person now and repeating that consistently, like not just thinking the freaking mantra, because that's not going to help you, but it's just looking at what do I need to do in order to believe that? Like, what are the things that I know I can, if I believe that, here's the order. If I believe, wow, I'm so good, how would I feel? Empowered. And when I'm empowered, what do I do? What would I do in that energy? And that's going to give you clues of what you would do and how you would show up as a coach that would attract high caliber clients. Because I can tell you, if you're thinking, I'm not so good, I don't know if I can attract people, that's going to solidify that belief that you currently have and is going to show up in your results. So if you're not attracting those high caliber clients right now, it's because you have some kind of belief that you know, you're not that good, you don't know if you can offer value and all of that. And what I'm offering is flip those beliefs, find evidence of somebody that is that kind of person that you admire, and then flip everything that you believe about that person and start believing it about you. And just check in, like, if I had that thought, if I believed that, how would I feel? And if I was in that energy, what would I do? And then you're going to start acting as that person. You're going to start showing up and embodying that person right now. Erica says, this is helpful. I also haven't been doing Facebook Lives for not knowing my avatar. Yeah, this is so important to just clarify, like, who do you really want to work with? Like, who is it really that you're, like, if you didn't have to sacrifice, like, who would you really want to work? Not just who you think you can get, but who you actually want to work with. And then, great, if that's the person I want to work with, then in integrity, I want to get in integrity with myself and my own beliefs. Because if you want to feel like you're going to feel like a fraud, like, oh, I don't know if I can help them, that is going to repel people, right? It doesn't matter if you have some of those beliefs now, you can still attract clients, but you want to work through that, because otherwise you're not going to sustain the success. And then you're going to get one high caliber client and you'll be like, was that a fluke? Right? And then you'll sabotage it away. And so my recommendation is that you start creating a message for those people, but also embodying who you get to become in order to attract them. Woo! So good. You guys, I just love this topic so much. If you need any help with this, you have to message me, because this is exactly what I help my clients do. Okay, the last thing, what high ticket clients crave during the sales process that empowers them to buy. This is so important, because there's one thing is attracting your high caliber client or a client, right? Doesn't have to be super high caliber, but whatever. One thing is attracting the client, and then another thing is empowering them to enroll in your programs, right? And it actually gets to be so easy. So easy, you guys. This is not difficult. This is not something this is not rocket science, but it does require you to know about sales and to find your own unique flow on how to enroll people into a high ticket program. And whether for you high ticket is $2,000 or for you high ticket is $20,000, wherever you're at, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have the tools in order to hold the container for that client to rise up and say yes to themselves on the call. And that is not something that we get taught. It's not something that you can do with mindset work or energy work. I love energy. I love mindset work. Trust me. And like, I have an energy healer. I have all the woo-woo shit, but you can mindset yourself to a sale. Like, you have to know how to coach people and how to coach yourself through it. And so what I'm offering is that, I can tell you so much about the sales process, but that's not what I'm going to dive into right now. What I'm going to dive into is what's the one thing that your high caliber clients need in order to sign up with you. And is they need to feel, number one, that there's no force, right? Like push and pressing, like at least that's just not my approach, but there is an empowerment level for them to just have the choice to do it themselves. Like, you don't want to be convincing and being like, you need this, you need this, you need this. They need to feel like you're empowering them in order to say yes to themselves. They're not saying yes to you, they're saying yes to themselves and their evolution. And this is something that I feel like I have mastered my sales goals. I can tell you, because every single person that I've talked to this week has said yes to joining their mastermind or my one-on-one. And my clients also get the same effect in my sales process. They get like 80 to 90 closing rate. One of my clients gets all payments in full. She's a life coach for highly sensitive women. She's not even a business coach, and she gets pay in full clients, not even one in a payment plan. And she used to sell only $200 freaking courses. And now she's elevated to that level that's her new normal, but it's because now she understands how to hold space through a sales call for somebody to really be vulnerable with you, and they need to feel like you can hold the container so tight and challenge them to step into it, but without forcing them. And that is something that is so important, because as we evolve, as you know, like in this coaching space, as we evolve and evolve and evolve, people are becoming way more sophisticated. So like sleazy fucking sales tactics, people don't want it. Sleazy marketing tactics, people are smelling through the crap. So it needs to be so rooted and soulful, and you need to be able to be so confident in yourself to know that this is not about the price of the program. This is about the impact that it's going to have in their lives and the transformation that they're going to experience. And all their freaking beliefs are going to come up, and the reasons and the excuses. And that is normal. Like, it doesn't mean that they're a no. It just means that this is their all reprogramming that's coming up, and that you just need to hold a container for them to feel safe and for them to really trust you, that you're able to guide them through that in order for them to say yes and see the value of working with you to transform that area of their lives, right? So it's so important that we do this and that you have tools to do this, because you truly can sign more high caliber clients when you have the tools to do that. And it's not something that we were born with, as I said before, so don't feel like, oh my God, why don't I know this? I should know this. I'm going to do mindset work on it. It's just simply the tools. And I have been able to map this out for my clients. So if you at all want any support around this, just let me know. Whether you work with me or not, I don't care, but I want you to know that that is an important element for you to hold space for people to help them elevate into their next level. Okay. Leslie says, every time I seem to attract a high caliber client, they say their money is being spent on a business coach and that they'll address their intimate relationship afterwards. Any advice? Ooh, great question. Yes. Yeah. So you want to really help them see, cool, like number one, always empathize, right? Like, yeah, or acknowledge, or what's the word? Not empathize. No, yeah, empathize. Like, yeah, I totally get it. I can imagine that your business, you know, you're a busy person or you're a go-getter. You're investing in a business coach. I totally get it. And what you're telling me is that you feel like your relationship can come later. Is that right? And so you want them to feel acknowledged, okay? And then once they're like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. They're like, cool, like, are you open to some coaching on this? And then you can start coaching them on it. So what I would highlight here is that what is the cost of you investing in your business and not investing in your relationship? Like, where do you think your relationship will be 1 year from now, or 6 months from now, or just next month? But, you know, the longer the timeline, the more the impact. So where do you think your relationship would be 6 months from now? And what do you think the impact would be if you don't do anything? And then let them answer and just see what they have to say. And if they're like, yeah, fuck, like we're probably not going to be together or whatever. Cool. So you're going to have to get a divorce, or what's going to happen, or move out, whatever that looks like. And if they might have to get a divorce or move out, what's the cost of that? Moving out and getting a divorce is expensive, right? So you really need to see that help them see that the investment that they're making is not in just the relationship, is in avoiding all the impact of what would happen if they don't take any action, and just help them see that, because they don't notice it at all. That's just one frame that I would offer. But what that tells me is that you're not building the value throughout the call for them to see that investing in the relationship is really important, and that this is really important for them now. And I don't ever tell them why it's important. I let them tell me why it's important that they do it now. Like, I just ask a bunch of questions on the sales call. I don't tell them anything. I just ask questions, and then they come to the realization why this is so important and why they can't put it off anymore. Okay. Jennifer says, wow, you're I love you, Jennifer. Jennifer and I talked yesterday, and she is working on joining the mastermind. So I'm super excited to welcome you. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. But if this resonated with you, I want to offer you the opportunity to apply for the Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, because inside the mastermind is a 3-month experience, and I teach you all of these steps. Number one, we unlock what makes you unique from every other coach in the marketplace. From your ideal client, we get really deep on what I said in the beginning of this video, we get really deep on what actually what is going through their minds right now, not just like what motherfucking smoothie they drink in the morning. Like, I don't care what magazine they read or what freaking clothes they wear or what's their hair color. I don't care. All I care is their psychology and how they feel, what they believe. I help you understand that on a deep level, and then I help you map out your offers. It is only one or two. I keep it really simple. How can you scale to multiple six figures or 10K, which is the goal of the mastermind? How can you scale to that level just with one or two offers? Keep it super simple. And then we work on pricing those offers, helping you believe in those offers, like confidently believe in that and your ability to deliver those results. And then we work on all of your messaging, on your audience growth, and how to create content and videos written that are going to speak to your ideal client to a soul level and attract the right people. And then the final stage is when I teach you how to pre-qualify those people through a really beautiful and aligned sales process that makes people show up to the call already being like, I know I want to work with you. I just need to figure out the details. And then I help you, I teach you how to do a sales call in a way that feels so good and so soulful. Like every single person that said yes this week, they were just like, this was one of the most transformational calls of my life. Like even just this was so insightful. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Like that's how sales should feel, right? It's not like you're pushing something. It's like you're offering an opportunity for them to evolve into their next level. That is what sales are. And so it's so important to me that all of you have these tools in order for you to be able to build your business in a way that feels so aligned. And I can tell you that my clients are applying these methods and they work. It's not just for me and my own business. My clients are applying them and they're getting epic results. Everyone from like energy healers, life coaches, sexuality coaches, sales coaches, marketing coaches, and they just work because it's the foundational pieces of building a really aligned business that's strategic, but also we touch a lot on the mindset. And there's one more thing I want to tell you that is I haven't shared this with anyone yet. But also what you get as part of the mastermind is you get a hypnotic track, like a hypnosis to help you unlock your inner magnetism, because there's a lot of subconscious beliefs that happen that we all have. And part of the goal of the mastermind is to help you unlock 10K months. And there's a lot of subconscious stuff that I don't address in the course. So what I did is I have a specialist who will record a hypnotic track for you, for the members of the mastermind, to unlock that inner magnetism, that confidence, and rewire any subconscious beliefs that are holding you back. Because all these courses that are out there for marketing, you guys, they just teach you how to grow a fucking Facebook group and like whoop-de-doo, great. But you're not doing it, or you're not taking the action, and you don't feel confident, and you continue to come back to the same patterns, is because they don't address what's actually going inside you, like in your inner world. And in my group, in this program, we address both. So go ahead and book a call with me. I'm going to put the link right here because I actually only have one spot left for this first round. So next year in 2020 is going to go up to $1,000. So go ahead and it's going to go up by $1,000, not to $1,000. Just want to make that clear. So make sure that you book a call with me so that I can get you in. Even if you apply this year, I will honor the price next year, but you have to apply now. Otherwise, the price is, I'll just share with you. I'll give you the price for next year if you apply next year. So it's a Christmas present for all of you. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Okay, let me just do this. calendly.com/Juliana Garcia MMM. It's so good. I'm so fully behind this program. I'm so proud of it, and I just feel like it's my duty to get it out to the world, because it truly will give you all the tools that you need in order to create an epic business that feels aligned, where you're not hustling, you are attracting the right clients, and you're doing it all in a way that feels so good to you, that gives you the freedom for you to be able to plan ahead of time, book your vacation, December, book literally your vacation ahead of time, 1 year ahead of time, and know when you're going to launch what are you going to do in your quarters. It's just going to be so beautiful for you to actually create sustainability in your business. So this is what we do inside the mastermind. So apply right now. Thank you so much for watching this. I love you all so much. And let me know if you have any questions around anything at all on this topic. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Wait, where do I finish this? Oh, here.